been forgetting this intro, to be honest. So hey. Hey, welcome back to Spilled Ink, the Comics Wellspring live drawing show where we're spilling ink and spilling the tea. Here, hanging out with you, of course, is your host, me, Brandon Blocksdorf, and my amazing, extraordinary, mind-blowing co-host, Max Flowers. Hello, Max.
Hello.
And tonight, of course, we're drawing with friends. And a good old buddy of mine, actually, buddy through buddies, and then we became buddies. And we got to hang out at Heroes Con for a good while. You may know him. But one of the Cosmic Lion crew, we have Anton Blake. Hello, Anton.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, guys.
Good suggestion with Hellboy, dude. I'm so hyped. This has been this is fun. We're having a nice little conversation backstage about Hellboy and Mongola and everything. You know what I mean? It's an extraordinary character that we're taking on today in so many ways. And it's especially funny because last week we did anatomy, and this is the exact opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like drawing monkeys, really. The way that, yeah, it's funny. His anatomy, it's so ape-like.
Yeah, as I was penciling his face for this, I was reminded just how ape-like it is.
Yeah.
That, and it's like, once you kind of realize, like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna black a lot of this out too if I'm gonna go true Mongola. Like, it makes it a little easier. You guys are Hellboy fans, which is really exciting because not that I'm not a Hellboy fan, I just haven't really dived into that universe a whole lot. I've met Mike Mongola more than I've read Hellboy comics.
That's so funny.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, he started like not drawing like this at all, though, which is interesting.
Very, very far.
Yeah.
But I've loved all of his like iterations, basically. Like I have a bunch of his stuff from the 80s, even some like the weird off the like random ones. He did a Phantom Stranger, like 4-issue miniseries.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then of course there's like the Gotham by Gaslight and
you know what's crazy about Gotham by Gaslight is the writer. What's his Brian, like Augustine, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him at a convention at like Phoenix Comic Con, and he was like, writer of Gotham by Gaslight, and like nobody wanted to talk to him. It was so sad. Like Mike, I feel like people just think Mike worked on that book, like, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. It happens that way weirdly sometimes. Like people don't really recognize what great talent there is out there. Like I remember the first time I went to San Diego Comic-Con when I was a kid, happened to meet like the creator of like the Golden Age version of Flash and the Golden Age version of Green Lantern. Both of these guys that like nobody was really going up to them, even though it's like much more pivotal parts of comics history than anyone was clearly
realizing.
Yeah,
it's crazy how that, especially creator overshadowing, happens. We have some people popping in. We have William Ibanez drawing along. Cheers! Oh, dude, William Keops Ibanez is one of the coolest, most fascinating artists out there. I can't wait to bring him on the show soon. And then of course our buddy over Gen X Comics. And speaking of which, we'll do a quick shout out right now. We're partnering up with Gen X Comics. He's giving us pretty much access to this amazing thing he's been putting together. He did his own virtual con about a month or so ago, and it was fantastic. And we got to really find this real cool partnership, and we're doing the first Comics Wellspring virtual con August 10th, right around the corner, just a little over a week away. And we have a bunch of panels set up. We have a live spilled ink drawing session. We're doing a live inspired ink. We haven't done an interview in a while, and we have a great friend, Gabriel Valentine, for that. and a bunch of cool panels where you could talk to our production team and ask them questions about processes and what goes on behind the scenes. What Dan Hills, our CEO, is going to kickstart off stuff with me, and then we're going to just talk about making comics and publishing. We have some, lesser known people. We have a great podcast guest coming on, Scott Lost of Making Comics. All sorts of cool stuff we'll be announcing this week. But yeah, Gen X, man, it wouldn't be possible without you, my dude. And then we have Irishman 301, Hellboy. Hell yeah, dude. That's right. It's so funny. Like, you kind of have to run this like a radio show sometimes. Like,
totally.
Dude, yeah, like Hellboy's interesting. What first got you guys into Hellboy? When was your entry point, I guess, or what really got you just to pick up the book and finally read it? Or
that's a hard question. I don't know. It really was one of the first comics that I was like exposed to, especially as like a more functioning like young adult, not like a child,
Mhm.
It was just one of the first ones that I picked up because I was attracted to like the like gothic style of it, and I loved it. I couldn't get enough.
Hell yeah. Mine was fairly direct. I mean, I had seen random like stills of the comic in issues of Wizard when I was growing up, but it was when the very first movie came out. I can't remember exactly how old I was. I was like maybe 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that when it came out. And a good friend of mine and I went to it, super stoked on it, went to comic shop a couple weeks later and picked up the first, I forget exactly which one it was. It might have been a one shot. The Corpse might have been the first one that I got.
Yeah.
And was just hooked right away. Like I've always been a big fan of monsters and horror and genre stuff, and also just like folklore and mythology. So it was a extremely great resource for somebody who's already obsessed with learning about like all the weird monsters throughout folklore throughout the world, and like exposed to so many different like cultures through that.
Yeah, definitely. Hands down, dude. That's one of my favorite parts about reading Hellboy that I've been discovering, and it's just all this great folklore that I would have never known. I mean, all right, well, I hate to bring it up, because it's a controversial thing at the moment, but it's like when I was reading Sandman and I got to learn about like, different tales and like authors and whatnot, or League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That made me pick up a whole bunch of stuff. So whenever like something gets you to like educate yourself a little bit more, it's always like a really big win in my book.
Yeah,
real quick, Morgan Aaron, our boy Morgan, hello, what's up?
Speaking of monsters and Hellboy,
yeah, straight up, yeah. And then we have Nathan Price. What's going on, gang? And then Morgan my glasses aren't on right now, but
Rama.
That's right.
I'm lost on that one.
That is Hellboy's fiendish name.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay.
No, I don't know that off the top of my head.
Cool though.
Yeah, I think I was steeped in it young enough where it's now just affixed right in there.
So I remember the movies as a kid, and I remember checking those out for sure. I only saw the first one though for the longest time, and I just recently saw the second one because it was streaming. We were going on a binge. And honestly, like the first one like isn't that great. It just like looks really cool sometimes. It has that like that early 2000s like 90s like kind of nostalgia where you're just like, oh, I remember this being fucking awesome, dude. Like I'm so hyped. And then you get to it and you're like, oh, like there was definitely some flaws in the dialogue here, but visually, like that's why we were captivated as kids. Same thing with the comic, Mike's art really is what draws you into this book more than anything.
I think after a while, definitely the story starts to really come together in like interesting ways, like especially with how many short stories there are. throughout the series, and like as you get into like the later periods of it where Duncan Figueredo is doing the art, that is like really coalescing so many of those disparate little things those seeds that he's planted that he didn't even necessarily know was being planted for something big.
Oh, that's cool, dude. That's awesome. I can't wait to get that far because it is. I got like a humble bundle, like digital thing. You know what I mean? And I scored like all the books, so I have like 13 volumes to dig through.
Nice.
Right, but it sucks every time I do that, and I'm like, I'm gonna dedicate myself to this. Then like I get distracted with something else, so I'm like kind of on like an Alan Moore kick right now. I've been reading Tom Strong lately.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Have you read Promethea?
I haven't, but I have it all. Like I have all the single issues.
That is one of my favorite Alan Moore's entire books. Like it is a very interesting. Like it starts off as just like a seemingly just a homage to like pulp heroes, like rather than superheroes, but then it like expands into rumination on like imagination and like collective consciousness, and then it eventually leads to just like lessons in like left-hand path magic and the Kabbalah and like all sorts of really wild esoteric shit.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so excited for that then.
Yeah. And as like I'm not a religious or spiritual like person all that much, but it's just like the way that it's presented in that is just like incredibly captivating to me. It's like, oh yeah, this is way more fascinating than I would have, given it credit for it otherwise.
Oh hell yeah, I love stuff like that. Grant Morrison got me into all that like crazy magic sigil type of stuff. So I'm like always up for that.
Yeah, totally.
That's why Rick Lopez and I got along so well. We're both big Invisible fans.
Yeah.
That's so cool though. I love that. Dude, Max is going hard for this one. Look at this.
I'm about to go real weird, and I'm starting to mix in some ink and some media here.
Yeah, you're gonna do a mixed media piece for this.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
it is mostly going to be ink still, but yeah, I've selected my tools for this one, and I have a plan. It might not work out, but at least it'll be a fun experiment.
What else are you trying? Like what
well, there's going to be I've got color ink going right now, and I'll be adding some oil pastel, a bunch of black ink. I'm going to do some spatter, possibly some colored pencil later in there because I do a lot of that.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, you got a whole deal going on.
Yeah, set everything aside, ready to go.
I've recently been trying to get into more painting, or like more, like different approaches that's not just pencil and ink.
It's been a long process for me to get to this stage. Probably, I don't know, like at least 5 years of slowly trying to build up to it. But it's only really been in the past maybe 8 or 9 months that I've actually been like truly utilizing any of these techniques.
Right.
And various mediums. Like I've for a long time just wanted to be doing more paint, but just wasn't confident with it because I totally self-taught in that regard. But finally, last year when I was working on pages for the book Ghost Agents, I was just able to like go all out, and like the writer Rocco Jerome he just really lets the artists go wild however they want to. So I really went for it, and I did all sorts of wild mixed media, and that was just the starting point. And it's like full steam ahead after that.
That's awesome. So these, you were doing pages that way, not just like illustrations?
Yeah, full
That's
pages.
awesome. Did, I'm sure it slowed you down though? Like they're at the rate you were able to do pages, or not really?
At first a little bit, but weirdly enough, it actually, once I got like the hang of it, it actually like sped me up like way more.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a little baffled by it. Like to some degree, like I understand aspects of it. Like I was able to, since I was using so many different mediums at once, I was able to kind of um, schedule out of like, okay, well, if I'm doing some paint on this section, and then there's also going to be a collage element on this page, then like while the paint is drying, I can work on the collage element, and then once it's dry, I can combine the two. So it's kind of just use of figuring out like the best use of time within that. But yeah, it to this day I am a little baffled by like aspects of like how that actually worked to be out that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I'm planning on doing painted pages for my next book,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna use them kind of sparingly in a little bit of a like a formalist way.
Yeah.
But I'm like so uncertain of how long it's really going to take me to do that stuff, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
But I love people who do it, you know? It always looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, I also like it helped that I was able to like change my just overall schedule and focus way more time throughout the week on working on art than I was previously. And like currently I am full time on all of this.
Oh, sick. Great.
So that helps a ton. But yeah, I think just how it's worked for me, and I think to some degree it can work for anybody, is just like after you've tried out like whatever new mediums you're hoping to utilize, like you can really hone in on what aspects of it that you feel you're really good at or like can utilize really well, and then how to just kind of change the process up as needed to make it faster.
Yeah, because I mean that's the thing that I've been setting out to work on the past couple months is how do I get like faster? How do I get where I want to go? How do you know
Mhm.
like because it really is a game of speed, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, not always. A lot of times it's quality and speed together, really. But
Hmm.
um, trying to figure that out has been very tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also like how to make sure you are maintaining speed and quality and not like burning yourself out, and how to like detect if that's like a burnout is coming, and like how can I mitigate that and press on, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think another thing for me with like this mixed media approach is that I often get just like it's really easy for me to get bored with how my art is looking if I'm sticking to one medium for too long, or even just like one style. So changing it up like really reinvigorates me. So it like makes it easier for me to want to keep going on something.
Uh-huh.
So when I'm like working on my comic Zethia Space Witch, like I'll be flopping back and forth between tons and tons of different things. Of like I've been like in this new issue, I've been doing a lot more marker like shading and blending and stuff than I had previously, and that's been fun. But then like if I've been doing that for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and I'll immediately start feeling kind of bored and like worn out, and so I got to switch to painting a bunch more on a few future pages, or doing more collage or whatever, and that will just always like that change like just fixes so much for me.
Yeah. Are you a Ben Templesmith fan?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean he does a lot of like stuff like that in his art process where he'll do collaging and stuff.
Yeah, I think I started checking him out probably around the same time that I first found Mignola and Hellboy. Like, I remember again in old issue of Wizard magazine them talking about the original like 30 Days a Night miniseries, and just being stoked on that, and then getting hooked on Wormwood, Gentleman Corpse, and a bunch of other stuff like that.
Can you repeat your the projects you've done again? Nate Price was just asking in the chat.
Yeah, so my comic is called Zethia Space Witch. It's published through Cosmic Lion Productions. You can find it on cosmiclionproductions.com. It's a science fantasy mixed media book about a young witch traveling through the galaxy, having all sorts of weird adventures. It's my favorite thing I've ever done, without a single doubt. And one issue is out currently, but I'm in progress on the second issue, and am closing in on that production. So sometime fall is a very likely release date for that.
Nice. Oh, Eric Allred is here. What up, y'all?
Hey.
Boy, he's actually gonna be part of the virtual con that we're doing, the August 10th. Don't forget to sign up for our virtual Comic-Con. Lots of panels, lots of cool stuff going on. I wish I could give more details as I draw.
Yeah.
Head back to the beginning of this episode for more information, or stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like trying to dig through like a bunch of stuff to like just see how like Mingola does a few things too. Like I'm not using one thing as a reference. I'm kind of just like pulling from like 20 images and seeing what like, all right, like how do you, his detail is so bizarre, like trying to figure out like some of that shading and that like just line work, you know what I mean? Like
it's so graphic. Yeah. Like I'm trying to figure out some like Mignola leaves right now. A little bit.
I knew I wanted to do a tentacle monster. You know what I mean? Like I knew that was going to be part of it. So
I love his watercolors that he's been doing lately.
Yeah.
Those are gorgeous.
Yeah, I also saw him do a drawing panel once at a con, and he was kind of poking fun at himself and gave like a hint of anytime he draws smoke, it's basically always he will always draw it from bottom left corner to top right corner, and I have noticed that every single time.
Oh, really?
Ever since.
Yep.
Yeah, without fail. That's
or even if it's not smoke, it's just some graphic shape. Like he does that all the time with just weird graphic black and white shapes.
Yeah. Yeah,
his gonna be fun to ink.
His shoulders are very sloped down.
Yep.
So I've heard some say it's the weakest shoulders in all of comics.
Yeah, that's what I was literally trying to figure out how to do the top right here. And then I was like, you know what it is? He doesn't have any shoulders. Like
Mhm.
it's just all of the figures just slope. Yeah, and that's when I started making progress. I was like, oh, okay, I can move on. It's funny. I have met Mike Mignola so many times. Like I have a signed poster on my wall. I got to meet David Harbour when they announced his movie at San Diego Comic
Mhm.
Con, and I like a double signed poster with David and Mike Mignola for a while, and crazy cool stuff. But like Hellboy wasn't accessible to me. That's why, I
Yeah.
never where I was and the people I was around and just like my shops I was at just didn't have any like
Mhm.
starting points for it. And I didn't know you could just pick up any volume and run with it at that point. Now I realize that like anyone waiting to read Hellboy, you could probably pick up the first like 3 volumes and just like read them like out of order. It's not.
Yeah. I read them very out of order. Like I didn't read Seed of Destruction, the first story, for a very long time.
Really, I think it's a really good one too.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah, it's really good.
I think it's very good, but I don't. I think it's probably my least favorite because it's not Mignola also writing.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. I really want to get to like the From Hell stuff, or like
Yeah,
when
same. Yeah.
when he goes back to hell and shit. Yeah.
It has, that has a beautiful ending to it. I'm a big fan of that.
Just gonna black out all these tentacles, to be honest.
Tentacles are very difficult.
Fucking suck, dude.
Yeah. They're really fun to draw though, but they're pretty tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's only 6:30 too. I'm like getting way ahead of myself on thinking where
I
we're at.
know. I might start adding in some blacks just so I can better see what I'm working with here.
I'm definitely gonna do the Max Flowers blackout half of it first and then roll forward.
So I'm using this bad boy today, chat. This
Nice.
is a hand rhythmic calligraphy pen. It's a ruling pen, so this is what they used to line paper with, essentially. But this is like a fancy modern version, and it's got this huge nib on it, and it's got this knob here, and that actually controls the space of how far apart the pen blades are from one another. And so you can change it, and it's a very messy tool and a very unconventional tool. I like it for like really big hand lettering, like sound effects and stuff, because you can get some like fun splatters with it. But we're gonna use it to flat these blacks.
Flat these blacks. For some reason, the term flatting just always throws me off. Like it's one of the hardest things to process. I feel. I don't know why. It's like so simple though. The terminology when you do art and comics is always just such a curve.
Yeah, I mean every like creative field with their very specific like insular terms. So weird.
Yeah.
Like I worked in film for about 8 years, and it just the things that everything is called there is so ridiculous.
I need to add more of these things. All right.
I definitely should have started on the other side. I always forget to do that.
I always draw the slope shoulders. Yeah, Frankie Boy Monster too. You're right. Oh man.
I've only used this tool on a few occasions because it's just such an unconventional tool, but I freaking love this thing. I should do more with it.
It's so fun looking. Let's switch to that.
And I'm 100% gonna drip ink all over this thing. But whatever.
Well, we're getting messy. I mean, look at how messy mine is, you know?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's really rad. I like your approach there.
I might need to open this up a little bit.
That's all going to be there. There's that. That's all going to be black. Hmm. I also like drawing like coat texture. I don't really know how to like do clothes or cloth. You know what I mean?
Magnola is easy because he just kind of draws some like little tiny lines.
That's true too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the new movie?
I have.
What are your thoughts on that?
I haven't actually, but I'm interested in what you think.
It's a very strange, like different like direction in like terms of look.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a very low budget horror movie.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying.
Which I guess, I mean, it does kind of fit with the Crooked Man story, given that it is one of the creepier stories. I mean, it's one of the ones that Richard Corbin did the art for, and it is very creepy looking. But yeah, like the Crooked Man in that book is quite unnerving, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have Richard Corbin on it, like,
yeah,
of course, in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that one definitely won an Eisner the year it came out.
And he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, huh? Mignola.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Surprised it took that long, actually.
I know, yeah, for reals. It's a lot better than the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Stuff that doesn't make sense there for sure. Yeah, it looks interesting. I think the Crooked Man looks like really creepy. I think what they're doing with them is like looks phenomenal. But it is a choice look. A little different for sure, but I think it is an interesting take on it though. I'm not completely unsatisfied with it, I guess, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting different direction.
Yeah.
Trying something new.
But I'm definitely interested in it because it seems scary though. Like it seems better than the last 3 movies. Honestly, the David Harbour one I didn't think was too bad. I quite enjoyed it. I'm not gonna.
I couldn't finish it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I mean, I think the 2 Guillermo del Toro, Ron Perlman ones are in the same camp of like none of the adaptations so far have really captured like what Hellboy really is like.
Yeah.
In both in like the character himself and also like the the storytelling and the style, like the vibe.
Yeah.
I think Perlman got like closest out of the two that we've seen so far, but yeah, I think Harbor's version, and like no fault to him in particular. It's who knows what many aspects were going into like why his performance was the way it was, but it's just it didn't have the same sort of austere, like I'm tired of doing this shit vibe that Hellboy almost always has.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always thought of Hellboy as having like this a very similar demeanor to like Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
He's just a working man trying to do his business, and things keep going wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually really agree with you that like I don't think any of the films have captured Hellboy as Hellboy.
Mhm.
And like I'm like I almost feel the same way about The Crow too.
Oh,
Mhm.
for
Like
sure.
I
Hands down.
love the first Crow movie, right? I mean, it's very good, but I don't think it even. I think even that one doesn't fit the vibe of the Crow comic. You know,
Does not touch the fucking comic, dude. Like,
no, yeah,
hands down. Dude, I'm a big fan of the comic. Comic inspired the hell out of me on so many levels. Like, what Obar did with that is just wild. Like the flashbacks, the storytelling, the like heaviness of it all.
yeah. That's what I really love is how emotional it is.
Yeah. It just, and the 90s one was, it was a good, 90s it's a good 90s adaptation. If you label it as that, for sure. It's a good 90s adaptation.
Right.
And honestly, like, interestingly enough, the other films that are kind of based off of like more of the Obar spin-offs, because I don't think James really did any more Crow at all after that. But
That's not true.
he did like
He
a
wrote
little bit more, right?
he wrote some Crow stories, but they're not like the same kind of Crow story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is the Crow, but it's not a part of the original series.
Yeah, I mean, just like the movies, like it's not it's not like remaking the first comic. It's like another character taking on that spiritual persona of the Crow.
Right.
But those, some of them aren't horrendous, but some of them kind of hit closer to like the Crow than the movie did. But no, that's, and I don't feel like this new version is gonna hit.
Oh no, of the Crow, yeah.
No, of course
When does
not.
it come out?
I have no clue.
I checked out like within the first few frames of the trailer. I was like,
Yeah,
not gonna see that.
Yeah. It's I'm surprised we didn't hear about it at San Diego with like any updates. Like that's the one thing I'm just realizing we probably didn't get anything on. There's some backlash against that for good reason.
I wonder if they're gonna pull a Sonic
Oh man, right? Yeah.
and just change him completely. I don't think they can though, because I bet you that was practical.
Yeah, right.
Practical. Unless they just reshoot the movie or cancel it.
You should just cancel it, dude.
It'll just be like the Henry Cavill mustache removal.
Dude, yeah, right. Straight up. Oh my gosh. I also don't dig the whole like Joker essence too.
Oh no, yeah, that's it. It just looks awful.
Oh, are you talking about the second Joker?
The Suicide Squad one.
Oh, okay. Yes. I thought you were talking about Folly Ado, the second Joker movie that's coming out with Harley. Lady Gaga as Harley.
That's a whole nother interesting thing too. I mean, I'm not entirely happy with that Joker movie. But that's all controversial stuff too.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm really excited to like go back and reread The Crow though. That's been on my radar for a little bit.
I should reread it more often than I do.
They're upstairs on
And I do reread
Same.
it quite often.
Yeah,
but
same. I feel you there. Like I feel like
my Bible. Oh my goodness. Puppies out.
Eric says the late August is when The Crow is potentially released.
Really?
So just less than a month away.
Well, we're getting somewhere, I guess, with this piece.
Oh, late August. So, dude, that's insane because like you would figure The Crow coming out in August, there'd be San Diego updates, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, you'd think, but
That's bad news though. That the fact that there
That's
wasn't.
not good news. Yeah, that's not good news. Like,
yeah, they know.
Well, because I don't think that they made it for comic fans. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's a comic book movie, but nobody thinks of it that way. At least, like, you know, a lot of people don't think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, that whole story behind that book is so sad too, because it's like,
Yeah, no kidding.
I remember like watching those like Obar interviews when I was like in high school and just being like, dear God, this is insane. Pretty hyped for this Hellboy piece now, dude. It's always the pieces I'm most scared about doing. I end up enjoying like a good amount.
I'm still scared of mine. I'm
Well,
in
inking. The pencils I
hell.
like on mine. The inking is the next like oh fuck part, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm marginally flying by the seat of my pants at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just filling in blacks so I can figure out what the heck I'm gonna do to this thing.
I really tried with my pencils to like not chicken scratch, and whenever I caught myself, I would go back to like pushing lines out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really trying to work on that habit. I have a lot to learn when it comes to inking, though, so I'm trying to study up a bit more on that.
Inking is one of my favorite parts.
Same.
Oh yeah, me too.
Especially because I feel like I could just bounce around too sometimes when I ink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point in my process, like I try to find the fastest way to get me to the inks and paint and whatnot. Like it takes me a long time, unfortunately, to like come up with like layouts that I like. It's kind of a struggle at times, and it's one of my least favorite parts of the process. But yeah, most of my pencils are barely pencils. Like I will most of the time just do very well detailed thumbnails instead, and then just I'll do some minor tweaks to it, but I'll just blow that up onto the final page, a very light printout.
I'm trying to do more with my pencils, actually. I'm trying to like outline it just a bit more every time, so I could really just like fly through the inking.
Mm-hmm.
But also so I could just really get the practice in and not just rely. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is like when you're trying to get your like anatomy and composition and like all of the various techniques down, it's really important to try to get as much of that in the pencils and thumbs as possible, and it's once you feel at least somewhat confident in that kind of stuff that you can start giving yourself more leeway to like add more of that after the fact in inks, if that's the type of artist you want to be and enjoy being.
Yeah. And it's gonna be really cool. I'm really excited to see. Like, I think Max and I both have seen a lot change in my drawings over the last couple of weeks, and that's really encouraging because I feel like the more of course you got to be consistent, and I haven't drawn since last week, dude. It kind of sucks. But we have Bristol Media Group joining in, Brooklyn in the building. How you doing, my dude? Good to see you.
Yo, Brooklyn.
But I'm hyped to see that consistency like really paying off,
Mm-hmm. It's wild how that just suddenly after a while just starts to make itself apparent.
Yeah, dude, like even just flowing through this, like with the face and like trying to figure out a lot of this, it felt way more confident this round. I mean, I didn't know what to do, so I was terrified, but like once I got to doing it was like come together.
Hell yeah.
And really just got to like, we have a bunch of fun weeks, and then you do a lesson, and then you have some fun weeks, and then you do homework on off hours.
Yeah.
I think people forget that, like with musicians and art, like you don't, just because you're not in class or studying or doing it, it's not like a lot of other stuff. You have to like go home and like just put more work in. Like the lesson is just the okay, do this now, go do that for the next 18 hours.
Yeah.
It's one of those funny things is like you wouldn't expect that like every few months or years or whatever you should really return to the basics of anatomy or the basics of like perspective and stuff, just to like keep it fresh in your mind and really make sure you're honing in.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. It's a lot of fun. I always like the grind part of that. Like that feels safe. You know what I mean? When we do stuff like this is always a risk and it's scary, But like when you're doing anatomy and basic stuff, that's the safety stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Morgan said, by the way, Max, your Mad Cave submission turned out phenomenal.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
So I guess I'm not the only one you showed it to, huh?
No, hell no. I showed that to everybody, dude. I was kind of wigging about it. I don't know what the deal was, but
I know when you're messaging me in the middle of the night to check out a piece, I'm just like, okay, I need to definitely follow up on this.
I want to get really good at using this tool. This thing is freaking crazy.
It looks super cool, dude. That bleed out's insane.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as this thing like touches the paper, it like dumps out all of its ink. And so it's like really learning how to control the mess of ink coming out of your fucking tool.
It's kind of funny. Like the next, thing I spend money on now is like art supplies. Like it's never ending. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
truly.
And I feel like I have nothing. And I have some cool like markers and like ink tools and everything. You know what I mean? But like then I see what Max pulls out every week, and I'm like, damn, I want that too, though.
I definitely have an addiction to getting new tools.
You kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as you're putting in the work, like, use them. You know what I mean? They make you put in like a few hours, and that's a positive thing.
Absolutely. Something I like too is that a lot of the various tools I have are actually probably some of the like shittiest cheapo versions of it possible, and seeing how I can still make something like really good with it. And like I have a mix of like most of my paint is gouache, and I have a mix of some like kind of middle to high end gouache that I use every now and then, but I also have just like some very basic bottom of the barrel type of gouache as well, and I use them interchangeably, mix them together, all that stuff, and it still works, so it's not necessarily always about just getting the high end stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, these Pentel brushes I use all the time, like $8, and like the ink lasts forever. Like,
mm-hmm.
And I know I like them because I keep on coming back to them because I'm looking for that texture that I had with them, So I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
like I'm getting used to something here.
Mm-hmm.
So what cons do you said you were going to your USF conventions left?
Yeah. Funny enough, fall is potentially going to be a more busy con time for me than summer might be. So I have next month, September 21st, I'll be at Comic IndieCon in Houston, Texas.
Oh, cool. With Eric?
Yeah, Eric and Ben, our pals.
Yes, they're boys, or outer space boys.
Yeah. And a bunch of other Austin folks. And I don't think we said I'm based in Austin. And then there's a few things in Austin, one or two that hasn't opened applications yet, so that's uncertain. But I'll be at the Lone Star Zine Fest, which is Austin. I've done a few times before. That's October 18th and 19th, I believe.
Nice.
It is. And I've applied to a few other things, waiting to hear back throughout Texas and a few other farther afield places. But yeah, the only two I for sure are Comic Indie and Lone Star Zine Fest, and then potentially I love doing Zine Fest because on top of comics I do some zines. And
what kind of zines do you make?
A few different things. I've got I a couple that are kind of art zines and like lost media video game related stuff, and then
cool.
I am big into like TTRPGs, so I've done like a D&D like bestiary zine. I've got a few in the pipeline that are like brand new games entirely that are small zine size, like rules light, easy to pick up for new folks.
I love that.
That's awesome.
I love that so much.
I come from zine spaces. Like
Mhm.
before I was doing comics, I was doing zines.
He's a
Yeah.
zine
And so
kid.
yeah, zine zine fests are like my shit for sure.
Yeah, I love them.
Dude,
You're laughing
and
at Zine Kid.
that says something because Max never cusses on the show. Max is the best one for not cussing on the show. And so for that to even come out of him, that's it's from the heart.
Yeah. Yeah. I was raised on punk, so zines are very like much encoded in me.
This is why I love you guys.
I love you too.
Gets all sweet and romantic. Our voices get all dim and everything. Like,
Right.
How's it going? What do you got in your hands there, huh?
Oh, we got a
That's such a nerdy response. Just immediately like have like a sex joke over your head. Like, actually, I'm using a Pento.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's amazing. But you're killing it, dude. What are you
Thank
using?
you.
I'm very curious. What's up?
This is like a whiteout pen, jumbo correction pen, whatever.
Nice.
It's the same one I use, Brandon.
Oh,
yeah.
cool. I want to get one of those. It's the one that Max told me to try.
Yeah, so I'll do a lot of like highlights with this, and specifically we'll like get some of it out of there and then like smudge it, and I obviously get very messy hands by the end of process, but it gets you can get really nice like messy highlights with these sorts of things.
That's cool. Yeah, I really want to mess with whiteout pens a whole lot more because they're just cool.
Yeah, I'll switch around a lot. Like I'll, depending on especially like the exact thing I'm going for with the highlights, and also like what other mediums I might be using under it, I'll switch to like some Signo Uniball, or one of my like Posca markers, or just whatever seems like it's gonna react well with what else I'm putting on the page, and get the effect right in that moment.
Nice. It's kind of funny, like learning art tools, like is like when I was first learning like bass gear, I was so like lost. And then after a few years, I could just name drop everything and just talk about it like crazy. And like art tools, I feel like in that entry level of just being like, what's a Fender versus a Gibson? Like okay.
Yeah.
These pickups do what?
Totally.
I love it. It's so cool. It's just fun stuff. And I'm like genuinely interested in this stuff. So it's like great hearing about it. It's like hearing about gear, you know what I mean? Like makes me excited.
Exactly.
Hi, Booby.
Speaking of bass gear, did I never saw you respond to Max's challenge?
We were just talking about that on the call today. Yeah, no, I'm going to. I will. I'm getting there. I have some time coming up. It's been a busy week planning for this virtual. Oh, sorry. Cat's attacking me right now. He demands kisses. Or, hi, booby.
Yeah.
He'll headbutt me until I kiss him, literally. Like, but no, we're and it's great because I just saw Blink-182 the other night, so I'm just overly hyped to jam that out.
Yeah, that's why I picked it. I was like, I have to do a Blink song for Brandon.
And that's it's a good old classic. I like seeing how you play it though. I play it a little differently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like slightly different. Dude.
Yeah, Milo was saying that next one I'm gonna have to do like a Primus song.
Oh man. Dude. Well, hey man, you are on top of me and my shorts are riding up. It's uncomfortable.
Coming for you.
Yeah, man. Jeez. Okay, booby. Let's start this over. You chose to be here, just for the record. I'm gonna do something wild, like a Between the Buried and Me song. No.
You're gonna choose something that's like in a super stupid time signature.
Yeah. Fucking. Now I want to see you play a Rancid song or something. That's gonna be cool.
That's funny. I was just thinking like it's all of this is making me miss having bass gear because I used to be able to play Maxwell Murder pretty damn well.
Oh, really, dude? I can't play that bass solo. That's.
I mean, it was never quite as clean as Matt Freeman, but you know, I had the majority of it down pretty decently for a long time.
I was able to do the Cliff Burton Pulling Teeth bass solo, but and Viridian by Between the Buried and Me, but not Maxwell. I was also super into Anti-Flag for a while too, but now they're controversial.
Yeah,
they do have some good bass lines.
Chris number 2 is such a good bassist.
Yeah.
I will always say he's a great guy. Like I love Chris number 2. Like he's not the reason why the band was shitty.
Yeah.
He was one of my idols, dude. I had a mohawk like him. I like learned all the bass lines. I was a big Anti-Flag fan.
Give me a second. I've got something to show you.
Dude, all my favorite musicians are pedophiles. I was like a brand new fan.
You have to make a zine.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, back. So here's a little trip down high school, Anton. I think I did this flyer.
What?
Back
Wow.
in 2006.
What? That's so sick. That's a cool
awesome.
show too. That's a super cool show.
Yeah, it was wild.
Casualties go freaking wild, man. Dude, are they still a band? Like,
they are also similar problematic reasons, but they got rid of they got rid of him. But as far as I'm aware, they're still kicking it. Like after they kicked out the problematic one.
Was it the vocalist? Or what?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I think for a while the singer of the Crumb Bums was filling in.
Oh wow. Dude, but also like I'm a big Brand New fan, and then the Jesse Lacey stuff came out. Like, of course, like I have a Sandman tattoo. That's a whole thing right now. Like,
So it goes.
Warren Ellis, another one of my heroes.
Mm-hmm.
All coming out. I know this bottom part pretty fun.
Ooh, yeah.
Morgan, I'm a little sad I couldn't draw Hellboy. Morgan, do you want to just jump on? You could jump on for the last hour. You're more than welcome.
Practice your speed commissions.
Yeah. Long live old emos. Oh.
Yeah.
I actually got to check out emos once. It was really great.
Oh hell yeah. In high school that was basically my second home, because I was just there all the time. Like I was in high school at the right moment when like almost every 80s hardcore band was getting back together for the first time and going on tour. So nice. I saw like so many of those bands at like just the right age too.
Oh nice. Hell yeah. Morgan's actually going to be a guest on a Live Spilled Ink on our virtual Comic-Con too.
Oh hell yeah.
Send me that link. I'm gonna invite Morgan just for laughs.
Yeah, it's too bad I couldn't make it for the virtual con.
Yeah, my punk experience was a little different. Like, I mean, I still definitely saw a lot of classic bands, but I was mostly going to like, you know, local shows in SoCal. Like, I feel like I was like around at some like weird perfect time where like the punk scene in SoCal was like really good for like less than a year. And like there were definitely some like still janky bands, but there was a lot of really good bands that we were going to see that very quickly disappeared again.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of the case in Austin too. Like there were a lot of really cool local bands. And I mean, also like Austin had a very storied punk scene like from back in the day.
I remember when Austin was so much fun when we were touring through there, dude. We went to like this death metal pizza place all the time.
Hoax,
yeah, Hoax death metal pizza. That place ruled, dude. I got to hang out with Foxy Shazam on South by Southwest, and we got to hang out and I don't know, I can't say it on the air, but we got to hang out in the van. It was a lot of fun. Had a good conversation. It was super cool. Great. It was insane just being able to hang out with Eric and all them. There was like 12 of us in the van, just like it was hilarious.
Hell yeah.
Tour life.
Oh yeah. Good old days. Good ridiculous times.
It's funny because I drew the anatomy like probably how you're supposed to. Like I drew it before I did the clothes and everything. So like I have to like readjust how I'm like tracing some of this with the black as I ink. To, like actually pay attention.
Is that Morgan?
That's Morgan. We got Morgan in. Let's say hi to Morgan.
Hey, you guys, what's up?
Hey.
Sorry if I look like a mess. I got off the day job and I'm just coloring and lettering right now. Something I'm working on. So this is as good as it's going to be.
It's because I haven't had last time when you were on the show, I wasn't present, unfortunately. Where was I?
So we have the virtual con. You were it was after Heroes. I think it was it
you were at
Buffalo.
Yeah, there you go. That was a great one. Really great one.
Yeah. That was fun. It was cool talking to Max. Max, have you gotten your copy of Frankie that I sent in the mail?
I haven't. Uh-oh. So if you have a tracking number, you should check it.
Oh, crud.
Or it'll get returned to you, and then you'll know to resend it to me.
Oh, Okay. Recently, a package got returned to my mom that she sent to me. I don't know what happened with that, so I'm assuming that might be what happens with that.
Okay.
It'll get fixed.
Oh, it's no big deal.
Dang. I was wondering because, I was like, why is Max not? So like, hey, I got it. But whatever.
Oh, I definitely would have said something if I got it.
for sure.
Morgan, are you a Hellboy fan?
No. I'm totally into Spawn. That's my guilty pleasure. Oh man. No, but y'all are talking about Hellboy, and I'm usually not the guy that's actually, and pushes up my glasses. When it comes to Hellboy, I am that guy. That is my, I study that man. He is my.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I study that
cool.
man. And I appreciate every single yesterday I was looking at I forgot what comic it was, but I saw an X-Men cover and I was like, that's Mignola, isn't it? And I walked up to it and I was right. It was 80s style Mignola. So I know his hand.
Yeah.
I see so much fake Mignola art now on Instagram and stuff like that, and imitators, and I'm like, man, y'all aren't him. Y'all aren't him, So, and it's people trying to pretend to be Mignola, or it's not they're influenced by him, because if I were the case, then I'd be a fraud. But it's they're totally trying. They're tracing over Mignola and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I know his hand for sure.
So what do you guys think is the line between inspired by and just copycats?
I think intention is a factor, but you can't really, I don't know, intention though you can't prove, but you can kind of feel it, which is really weird to think about, but that's my opinion.
It's also at a certain point, if you're it's necessary when you're young and figuring out what your style is to do some amount of copying. But if you're just continuing to do that and not actually pushing your work in any way other than just to ape the style, then you're not really progressing as an artist, and you're just going to continue to copy. It's about finding the elements of your influences that you like, and taking them and then turning them into your own version of it.
Yeah, and looking at who they studied too, because of Mignola, I finally got into Frazetta, and now Bernie Wrightson is all over my stuff. I finally got some creepies and stuff like that, and I've been eating that stuff up. So
yeah, right.
It's been really cool.
Dude, super big Wrightson fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, Brandon, I got a copy of Spawn #1 recently. I decided I'm going to give Spawn another chance. I've actually bought a bunch of McFarlane Spider-Mans, and I was actually kind of enjoying those a lot. So, yeah.
I don't remember the last time I saw those, man. They're I think they're fun to look at for sure.
Yeah.
I bet some of that reading could get real challenge. I mean, that's the hardest part about Spawn is the reading,
yeah,
until it changes after a bit, but it is really, it's pretty. It is pretty. There's some goofy stuff in there too, though. I think the coolest thing about Todd is that I respect what he's done. You know what I mean? I respect him as a businessman, a
absolutely.
comic book businessman. I dominated.
Tycoons, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to challenge him unless I thought I could somehow compete, but that's neither here nor there.
No, he'd just keep you in his waiting room for an hour, fill you with water, and then try to force you to make a deal with him, and you're not allowed to go to the bathroom until it happens, which is his actual technique that he does.
Really?
Fantastic. That's a genius technique, though.
Yeah, he's talked about how
I think
when he's doing like business deals with like other like toy companies, or like trying to do specific deals for McFarlane Toys, like he'll get executives out there, and he lives in the Phoenix area, so it's hot as hell. Gets lots of water for them, and then once they get in there, he's like, okay, we're not leaving this room until we make a deal. Can we agree on that?
Nice.
And then they start sweating.
Dude,
they all gotta be.
CEOs and entrepreneurial types are just wired differently. It's kind of scary, but it's also kind of interesting.
Good for reals though. Anton, so how do you feel like, so this is the biggest thing whenever, and I kind of want to know about Morgan too, but like what's your comfort level of talking and drawing? How do you feel like you're doing tonight? That's the biggest thing that comes up on the show.
Pretty good. Yeah, I definitely get lost in the drawing at points, so I forget to talk about things, but
yeah.
But I'm definitely pretty comfortable with it. Like I've done a few little like live things on my own before while working on pieces, and used to do plenty of just like hanging out with people. Everybody's working on their own individual art pieces.
Yeah.
So
kind of like what Cosmic Lion does a lot. So you guys jam out a lot together, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of us, or a good chunk of us, like when we first met during lockdown, it was just tons of super late night hangouts over Zoom, working on image game design, and then our own individual books as well. So that was just happening all the time. And we'll still do some of that every now and then. Like we'll hop on, Discord call or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when a couple of times now that a bunch of us have all been at the same shows, like when we're going out at night, either at dinner or after dinner or whatever, we'll be like Eli will bust out one of his very cool sketchbooks, and you just pass it around, coming up with a brand new comic,
and
like one panel at a time.
Yeah, and we all have like our own things going on. I think like one of the I mean, Eli didn't tell me the point of the sketchbook. For him it's definitely fun, but I think like engaging like in that kind of like activity where everyone's like passing around the sketchbook, you also learn to appreciate each other's art, because on the fly you're sketching together, so it actually builds camaraderie, and like it breaks barriers. So like you could have artists that literally think completely differently in how they approach their art, and then they can learn to get along and appreciate each other's work better.
Yeah,
for doing that, I think. At least I'll speak for myself.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, like, you can learn like new techniques and stuff in that way as well. Like just watching how somebody else is working
in steel compositions, Yeah.
All right.
Here. Anton, have you looked at the Cosmic Lion chat at all recently?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of what you were posting recently.
Yeesh.
Didn't know you had it in you.
That's what everyone's been saying. Oh, it's so stupid, man. It's so funny.
Oh, what are you doing there, Anton?
Getting some Posca like paint pens in here. Gotta charge up. Is all like old, grody. Is all super grody stuff at this point. Like I've used these to death.
Nice.
But getting Hellboy's floating crown in there.
Oh, that would have been cool to add. I didn't even think about that.
Got to. Got to do it for sure.
I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Vibes. I kind of got lost in the inking, to be honest.
Oh man.
I'm trying to save the piece now with the whiteout.
How is it? Oh, it's only 7:21 too, dude. That's awesome. We're actually doing really good on time, I feel.
Yeah, it was great on time.
Hey, Max, do you know like a good like printer that that's pretty like affordable for color printing? For like I should say.
Wait, one more time for zines.
Yeah, for zines.
Hit me up after the show.
Okay.
I'll work with you to get whatever you need done.
Cool.
Yeah, because it's not always super affordable to get your own printer for that stuff. But
yeah,
for color, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon knows I print out all his zines.
Yeah, Teenage Babylon. I gave you Teenage
Yeah.
Babylon, right? Yeah, Max printed that.
I have my signed copy. Sure.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, Brandon, I actually have been meaning to draw a Teenage Babylon pinup, and I don't know like when the next Teenage Babylon zine or anything like that's going to be out, but you can hold on to it till you decide.
Oh,
so just let me know.
That would be great because Christian's wrapping up the inks for issue 1, like the first full issue.
Sweet.
That'd be great to like toss in it somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, I'll come up with something, and it'll be great. Okay.
Because then I'm just gonna have good old Max here letter it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It was so funny because like we're like Max does a lot of work for CWS and he's essentially an employee. And so we're like talking about all the tasks and things we got to do and stuff we got to create and just like our rundowns and everything, and it's a whole bunch of work and a whole bunch of stuff. And at the end of it, I was just like, so can you also letter the submission I just sent you in your email? Like on top of all the work I know you have. It's so funny.
Yeah, on top of all of like my own work that I'm trying to get done.
On top of his own work too. Like he has a convention this weekend and like all sorts of stuff. Oh yeah, tell us about what you're doing this weekend, Max. Your banner looks insane, dude. I don't know if you guys saw it online, but it's sick.
Oh, I didn't post it on Instagram. It was just in that chat. But yeah. But it's the Blueberry Art Festival, which is like the big art festival here in Alaska. And so I have a 10 by 10 booth and I did all of these like fish prints. I'm trying to see if I have, I do. Let's see. We'll just use this. But I did a bunch of these fish illustrations and they're like anatomical blueprints of fish that are native to the region and then a painted blueberry. But yeah, I did a whole series of stuff for the show that I'm going to be doing and selling all sorts of stuff. Also stickers. We did stickers of the fish, just little fish, but we produce all of our stickers ourselves. We do everything ourselves. Everything is printed ourselves. The banners were printed ourselves. It's that DIY.
Dude, that's how you know you're like an artist when you're just drawing like nature stuff for fun and it's like really, really good. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, it's a huge festival, so I'm really hoping to like sell well and make a ton of money, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll pray. Forgot about a whole section down here. I just realized.
Yeah,
What I
because
need
I
to
live in
do.
Alaska.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
no. Say that first.
Because I live in Alaska, like it's mandatory that I do some fishing and draw some fish and stuff. You know, I have to.
Yeah, they gang up on you if you don't. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. That's way better.
Well, you tell people you're like a comic artist in Alaska, and they're like, "A what?" You know.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, here's this fish drawing that I did," and they're like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen." You know? Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, I can draw some fish. All right, that'd be cool, dude. Your fish drawings are insane though. Like, you know, you got to post them online more because they're honestly, you realize, dude, textbook like illustration, like stuff. It's so crazy, dude. Looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, you were saying you needed to do what?
I had it.
You
And
don't
I had it
even
for a
know.
while. Don't even know now. It'll come back to me. Oh, I need to work on like doing backgrounds. Like that's what I don't know how to do is like put a background on something. I just like don't get it yet. I want to.
They're a pain in the butt. Truthfully.
Mm-hmm. What is it about backgrounds in particular that is tripping you up right now?
I don't know what I don't really get it. I don't like know what to do. Just to start there.
Right on.
Like, should I just do like a color? Should I just like do texture? I mean, there's a million options, of course, but like, how do I begin? Like, what's the most basic way for me to do a background to start backgrounds so I could like start building upon backgrounding? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just like black it all out, you know? Or
well, I would say in this piece, definitely a lot of black would make sense. A lot of Mignola's backgrounds, especially his like cover pieces, feature heavy black. But you might as well also throw in the patented Mignola smoke rising from bottom left corner to top right corner.
Yes.
that's true too. That's very true.
But also,
Yeah.
like, he composes his compositions in triangles, and like that's always a factor in it too. It's like the middle ground is usually like a triangular composition. That's where you fit in like Hellboy, or at least that's how he does it.
Yeah, mine has that same thing. It's like this.
Yeah,
right? That's
I'm drilling over it, Max. It looks phenomenal.
See, nobody tells me this before we start.
Oh well.
You didn't ask.
But Mignola got that from Frazetta, and I've been looking on
that's
Frazetta
cool.
lately. Yeah, you got it from him. So like, it all comes from a place. No one just makes everything up. There's always a sphere of influence. Nothing exists in a bubble, no matter how great or talented you are. You're still learning and applying things and seeing what works and what doesn't. Which is what I have to keep telling myself.
Yeah, it's that's what we were kind of talking about earlier. It's just like an endless path of just like exploring.
Yeah. And I think your work will be fine and won't go stale if you keep that mindset.
Dude, yeah, keeping a student. I mean, that's a total point of the show. You know what I mean? It's just like, how do I just keep on learning something? All right, I'm gonna learn how to draw some more, and it's a blast. It's challenging.
Dude, I just did something recently completely out of my comfort zone. I finally wrote my first song. I wrote a theme song for Frankie.
Oh yeah, I remember checking that out.
Yeah, and like I sent it to my friend Jorge, who's working on some Frankie stuff right now, and he quickly did a demo with the chords that my friend London helped me find for the song, and he made a demo for it, and it sounds phenomenal. So like I already have music to like my theme song.
Oh, sick.
For my character. It's kind of cool. It's amazing. So, I mean, all this to say, like, it's worthwhile to occasionally get out of your comfort zone.
Love it. Yeah. Booby, come on, dude. Come on. Oh, now you're just knocking stuff over. Don't.
Oh, cats, man, cats.
All the time.
I'm more of a dog person. I'm sure that shocks no one, but
I mean, dude, I was a dog person forever, and then like Mike T'Challa was gonna kill himself if he didn't come with me, so so we rescued him. And then my girlfriend has 2 cats, so I have 3 cats now.
Dang.
It's wild. It is insane.
Yeah, my partner has 3 cats as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually like really happy with how this is actually turning out. I'm so scared about this.
Yeah,
I think I need to black it out more, but
I'm so mad my Presto ran out.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Dang.
I know. Unless I just gummed it up, which is also possible. But I don't think so.
Very easy to do.
Yeah. I watch Jim Mafu do it all the time, where he runs his like Presto over the white, and I'm like, or over his like fresh inks, and I'm like, how the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like fishing through every white marker that I have now.
Yeah, been there so many times. Yeah, this is. I mean, mine was definitely a big experiment, and it's coming out.
Yeah, it was looking
swimmingly.
Yeah, it looks great, Anton. Wow.
There you go.
It was already looking good, like just the pencils, and I was like, oh man, he's doing the Bill Sienkiewicz, just pour media on it and see what happens, and
yeah,
it looks good, man. Looks great.
Thank you.
You make those mixed media wizards proud for sure.
Carrying on the tradition.
Yes, indeed.
I might have just saved myself. Let's see. Or is this empty too? Yes, thank God.
By gum, he's done it.
I found a Bic whiteout.
Nice.
Nice.
When in doubt.
Big whiteout. A great slogan.
Dang.
Bic whiteout, backup pen.
Usually the maximum comics is when in doubt, black it out. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where's our sponsorship, Vic? Where's our sponsorship? That's what we want to know.
I've got a weird tidbit in history for you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
The creator of Whiteout was the mother of Michael Nesmith of the Monkees.
What
the hell?
Wait, what? Wait, repeat that.
The person who created Whiteout, or document fixative white, whatever, was the mother of Mike Nesmith, the member of the Monkees.
Wow, dude. Wow. Okay, I missed some other part, but yeah, that's insane. That is. I had to have you repeat that. Glad for the clarification. That's insane, though. I'm a Monkees fan. Hey, we're the Monkees.
I saw them when I was in elementary school.
So jealous, dude. I would watch that TV show like crazy. Mm-hmm. I had like their albums, and then like Shrek came out, and I think that's when I really started hating mainstream media, because I was just like, none of y'all know who the Monkees are. Right. Posers. They were on the Scooby-Doo soundtrack. There was a cool Scooby-Doo soundtrack. Real quick, we have Rad Art and Comics, and giving some compliments. Nice, good luck. And we have White Fire Comics tuning back in. Good day, y'all. How you doing, my dude? Thanks for tuning in. Good seeing you this week. Rad Art and Comics. Got to be careful using whiteout over wet ink, because it could cause blue smearing. Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah. Best to let ink dry. Yeah, dude.
I don't even use Whiteout myself.
Tips.
I'm just not patient enough.
I use white acrylic paint. I like it a lot better. But that's just a me thing. And if it's like a tiny little thing, I'll just digitally remove it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a me thing.
You can actually play with that kind of like blue smearing too. That's what.
Oh yeah.
That's what good old John Sean does. Jason Sean Alexander, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really, what you should be aware of or like conscious of is that as soon as whiteout touches your paper, you are ruining that original art in like a few years.
Oh
Yeah.
It will not be clean at all.
Yeah. Especially if like you don't keep it out of the sun or a certain environment in a portfolio or whatever.
Yeah, and like
archive.
Surrounded by dehumidifiers and like acid-free stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to get a this might sound very overboard and paranoid, but like at some point I do want to get a fireproof safe for all of my Frankie Boy Monster original art for my own archive, because I'm not selling any Frankie pages, so like I want that thing like locked up.
They make museum archive boxes too that are very, very safe for just in general for keeping it in good condition.
Yeah.
So
anything affordable for a college student.
Yeah. I used to work as a framer, and the entire job is working in conservation of art, right?
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things that people do that, no clue, but you're going to ruin that by doing it.
Yeah, my mom was an archivist, so we had a lot of those archival boxes just hanging around at our house.
That's super cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. See what I can do here.
Would it be problematic if I got some potato chips right now?
You go get some potato chips.
Much appreciated. I'm in the mood for some, for sure.
Morgan's like the most adorable creator ever. I love him.
Papa, may I please have potato chip?
Yeah. It's so cute. I loved hanging out with you guys at Heroes, man. It was such a blast, like being with you all.
It was awesome.
After that, Brandon.
You should just like mute yourself, though. Definitely like just like mute yourself.
always calling me a puppy. You're adorable. Whatever, man.
You are. I love it.
It's the best.
I'm multifaceted, man. I got there's layers.
Dude, I would be like exhausted, and then I would see like Morgan. I would just like get energy. I was like, you know what, you're right, dude. Like, let's do it. Just always hyped up.
I mean, I was just so excited, like, cause like it was my first, cause like really and truly that was my third tabling experience. Like I first like started publishing last Halloween. I did my first ever table just this March, and then that was like my third table, and it was at HeroesCon, the con where I met Eli. So like I was very like just over the moon and ecstatic. It was fantastic.
That was one of my first tabling experiences as well. I'm very new to this year is the most I've ever tabled before. I'm honestly like over it for the year. But I think Heroes.
I want more, man. I want more. It's great.
It's because I double up. If I was just doing one thing, it wouldn't be too bad. But like I CWS Apollo, like
right, yeah, because you're getting footage and you're a publisher and a creator. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So thinking, Booby, please, dude. Not right now, my guy. Like, I gotta. No, I love you. Booby, stop that. Don't get mad at me. And Spock wants to go outside too. Like, all the animals are like, dude, we don't want you working on art right now.
So are mine.
You know what? I gotta change this color. That doesn't.
It's
doesn't
either
work.
it's either the animals or the spouse, man. It's one of the two. Like,
Dang.
I'm just kidding.
You sound like a lot of Southern men I run around with in good old Tennessee.
Nah,
It's either those darn dogs or the woman, you know.
Yeah. Booby, why are you biting my board? No, stop that, dude. Hey, stop that, dude. What is going on here, guys? Why are you acting like T'Challa? What is?
Did they swap personalities?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Subspot.
So I've recently been on a big Spider-Man binge, and like I've been reading some Spectacular Spider-Man with Sal Buscema on art. Love his stuff. It's so good. It's like it's really graphic and beautiful, but also like it has that Marvel flavor, but it has like a very graphic and tasteful edge to it. Like I really like that a lot.
I had to check that out. I haven't read classic stuff in a minute, to be honest, and that's always fun to go back to.
Yeah.
What was I? I was just saying I'm on like an Alan Moore kick. I'm reading a lot of Tom Strong right now. And that's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun.
I've not dove into a lot of Alan Moore. Like I have like an absolute Killing Joke, but that's
definitely a fun one.
No, it's great because like I prefer
Boland's art. Oh, dude, right? Yeah, exactly. Me too.
But that's a personal thing. I don't know. Like, not everyone feels the same, which is totally fine. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. I'm not going to be an elitist and say, you know, your opinion's trash if you like the recolors. But like, I don't know. There's something about the recoloring that's just kind of it's too dingy for me personally.
I mean, a lot of recoloring when I read like the Miracle Man, like or Swamp Thing reprints, like I kind of like the classic, like newspaper looking colors. Honestly, for the Swamp Thing too, like. It gave it much more of a horror vibe, and I love that.
Yeah.
Find a better way to refill this pen. But yeah, Tom Strong seems to be like one of the most digestible Alan Moore stories.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that,
definitely true.
Yeah, he could be dense, super dense. Insanely dense, way too dense.
You've read Watchmen, though, right?
Oh yeah.
No.
I've read Watchmen. It's really the ending always like I don't know how to feel about the ending sometimes. Like I get it, but it sometimes feels like way too abrupt when I read it.
I actually have a really big problem with the coloring on Watchmen.
Really? What's the problem?
That's kind of here or there. I think it's way too. I think it's too garish for the story.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's a great story. I just wish the colors were a little less strange, I guess.
I don't know. I like it because it evokes different emotions in different panels.
Right.
It's very emotive, and I like that kind of coloring. But you know, again, I think that also speaks to some of my tastes. But
Oh.
I did try and read I tried to read the Alan Moore Swamp Thing, and I couldn't get past a couple pages in the first issue. It was just so dense. Like,
oh, dude, yeah. It's sometimes a lot of Alan Moore work is just like
so brooding.
you don't read it to relax. You read it to be like, I'm gonna read a comic, and whew, here we go.
Yeah.
But that's why I like Tom Strong right now, because it's just been fun, adventurous stuff, and even the dense ones are like, oh, like I don't need to finish this whole issue. There's like 3 stories in this one issue, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need a comic to change your life. Sometimes you just need to enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you like dense comics but also fun comics, you should check out Mary Tyler Moorhawk by Dave Baker.
You said. Yeah. You told me about that last time we were on.
Very, very dense. It's so good.
Have you seen that new Halloween Boy he has out? It looks really cool. I'm actually really thinking about pulling the trigger on some Halloween Boy, but like
I got 2 and they're very, very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't justify spending more money on comics right now.
Yeah. Fantastic.
You don't like the 9-panel, huh?
Yeah. I love doing. I pull that off so much. I'm a big Tom too. Yeah. And Max knows it. He knows all my comics up in that panel at some point.
Grids are touchy. Like you gotta really know how to use them if you're gonna use them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I definitely don't. So that's why I just designed different layouts every page. And I don't know, and also like my comics are very reactionary. Like a lot of so my scripts, they're not very detailed. And like when I want to like cut to something else, I'll say cut to, such and such character with this expression, and then the next panel might be and so reacts. So like it's very like there's almost a shorthand to it. It's almost kind of instinctual the way like my characters kind of react is kind of how I write. So I don't know if I could do that with a grid because then there's going to be bigger moments. But
yeah, I think when people were using the 9-panel grid before Watchmen. But But Watchmen like revolutionized it for use in like superhero stuff. Oh no. That's not true. I'm trying to remember what the deal is, why it's important in Watchmen.
Well,
wasn't it all done in 9-panel grid?
Well, yeah, but
it only breaks occasionally.
Yeah,
I think a big part of it is that like the main statement that both Gibbons and Moore with that is to show what only comics are capable of doing. So the grid was to have the sort of anchoring point where the rest of the storytelling would be able to have that experimentation that shows those aspects.
Yeah, you're totally right. But I'm a huge fan of grids. So like I've done 9-panel grids. I'm doing an entire book in 16-panel grids right now.
Yeah, I love it.
And playing with like formatting, just like Frank Miller did with Dark Knight, where it's like you don't have to stick to a strict 16-panel grid, but play around with what a 16-panel grid can do. And then my next book is gonna be a 24-panel grid. Yeah, a 24-panel grid. So it's six columns and 4 rows.
I take it you're working on 18 by 24 for that one.
I don't even know. Probably, yeah.
Because like 11 by that's not gonna work on 11 by 17.
Well, unless you're using like a crow quill, right?
Yeah.
Something really, really tiny. But that's the plan. We're gonna see what happens. Chris Ware kind of works like that.
Rad Art and Comics says, I love Alan Moore when he took over Wildcats. I think I have some of those issues, but I haven't read them yet. I've never really read Wildcats before either. And then William Ibanez, dude, I highly recommend Alan Moore's Run of Supreme. It's one of the most fun comics I've read. It's a nice homage to all the silly Silver Age Superman comics Kurt Swan was on. Dude, I love Supreme. I actually just took out Supreme to read after I do Tom Strong because I'm only missing like 4 issues of that run. I'm Dude, yeah, I highly recommend Supreme to anybody. It is phenomenal. So great. Like there's like not like people love like Miracle Man. I love Miracle Man, but like Supreme is like almost superior in some cases to Miracle Man. I had to find another S word to like not make that work.
I think I'm done.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm just like adding some back stuff going on here.
Yeah, I'm pretty dang close to being done. I'm just doing some weird
I
futzing
refilled
with the
this
back.
pen and I got ink everywhere again. Like, and because it always feels like it doesn't come out like the first few squeezes, and then I squeeze it hard, and then it always shoots out at me, and I just messed up, and I had to fight my cat off.
Oh, you got a brayer.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been using those occasionally with white acrylic. Gosh, these are so much fun. Hey, Brandon, are you aware of the Charlotte MiniCon?
No.
So every year before Heroes, there's a MiniCon, and like Brian Stelfreeze, John Bergen, and like Sanford Green will go to it, and like a few others, and you can apply. And like the Heroes Aren't Hard to Find people host it at that shop. You know the shop we went to have the barbecue after Heroes?
No.
Oh, were you not there? I thought you were there.
No, yeah, I don't think you were there.
Oh, I guess not.
After it was after Heroes because we took off like right after Heroes. I think.
Yeah, it was the Sunday.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's at the comic shop that's involved with like Heroes Con. Heroes Aren't Hard to Find. They host a mini con where it's like this mini convention in February, and applications. I don't know when exactly they'll be opening, but I'm part of their newsletter, so I'll let you know when it opens if you would want to go there. I'm definitely going there because like Charlotte's only 5 hours away from me, so like that's way more affordable than a lot of other places. So
yeah, I think you and I are in that nice range. You know what I mean, of each other. That's what's really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're in Virginia, right?
Yeah.
How many hours are you away from me then? Like I'm in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
That's like it's like
an hour
probably
away
like
from Nashville.
So it's like probably like 8 hours from you. So like a halfway point for us is like really great. Like North Carolina shows are probably good for us, you know?
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I forgot.
That's right, because you drove too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. With Jeff, who was really great to meet at the show.
Dude,
it was
Jeff
cool.
is so great. Jeff and John, yeah, good dudes.
Yeah, both of those guys are cool.
But yeah, if you wanted to apply to the Charlotte MiniCon, we could definitely do that. And if you wanted to, I don't know if you'd want to, but we could split a table or something.
Yeah,
so
I'd be
I'd let you know.
Definitely let me know. I love that.
Yeah, because like I'm not going to be able to do a lot more shows this year, so.
I feel you. I think I'm trying to pop up in New York, like just to go, trying to get like a panel in or something. That way I can just like appear there.
I'm going to like small local art or comic pop culture events basically in Tennessee when I can go, which is totally obviously it's totally fine, but like the bigger shows like Heroes or it's I can only occasionally go to those. So
yeah, those are the tedious ones. Those are the expensive ones too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like can't hit them all up.
Yeah.
But I feel you. If I I get a lot of support for mine, so I'm very fortunate. That's why I get to pop up and blend in some stuff. But like that's why I always try to give creators like opportunities whenever I pop in at things, Because if I get some lucky stuff, then try to hand it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of why, we had talked about the whole con thing at Heroes, and that's why I wanted to toss you on to the virtual con just to give it.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. That really means a lot, and I can't wait. It'll be great. For whatever reason, like today, I was like, oh no, when you messaged me this morning, I was like, oh no, is that tomorrow?
I know, just the scary part.
But I realized, oh wait, no, I forgot it's the 10th, so it's next Saturday. So yeah, we're good. It's all good.
All right. I think
I'm pretty much done.
Yeah, mine is officially complete. Sign.
You guys
Right
want
now.
to do some? Let's do some zoom in. Let's have Max go first, real fast. Just
Okay.
been done for a bit.
And Rad Art and Comics was talking about Todd's more dynamic panel layouts. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I definitely think that there is a place for crazy panel layouts. This was my a page for my Mad Cave submission, and this has got some weird panel layout to it as well.
Yeah, that's dope.
Cool.
Dang, Max, that looks great.
But here's my Hellboy. I went with, the Mignola montage cover style, and I'm pretty happy with it. I had some fun with it. So
that beautiful triangle, man. It's great.
Love it. Check out yours over here. Oh man, that's sick.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so many different mediums I threw in.
Awesome.
Yeah, the biggest experiment was for his coat. It's all oil pastel.
It's awesome. It's very cool.
Thank you.
I think the hands came out great.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
and the crown too.
Yeah, I put a little bit of gold on the outside rim there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Love it. That's sick.
Thank you.
Love the hand, man. Great hand down there. Love it. This is mine right here. I kind of went too much on the inks on some parts, but it was fun for not knowing what the fuck I was doing. I was pretty hyped. I spilled ink on 2 different spots that I didn't mean to ink up, so I just had to work around that.
So it goes.
I think it looks great. I
think
it's awesome.
Oh yeah. Try to get that sword vibe in there. It's always fun. It's one of my favorite things. You get mythological. Just put Morgan's face right here now.
Don't look at the monster. No, don't look at me.
Oh yeah, guys. This has been a blast. Anton, I miss you. I'm so glad you get to see Eric and Ben. It's always a pleasure. Always good talking, off the clock and everything too. So
yeah,
super glad we got to meet. And we'll get you on Inspired Ink once I start doing that again pretty soon. It's like a seasonal thing. So it's like we did 50 episodes, 51 episodes, and I needed a break. Plus work's been wild, so we got to fit that in.
Yeah,
but we'll get some more story out of you just to talk about your journey and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, Morgan, dude, it's always a pleasure. I love having you around.
I didn't mean to barge in, but I was feeling some FOMO, and I was at least cheerleading y'all. But I was making a joke, but then you said like, "Hey man, you can hop on." I was like,
I'll talk to you.
I always love talking to you all. All of you are amazing artists, and really
right back at you.
Yeah.
Anton, I hope you're doing well, man.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, you.
And of course, Max, the Almighty, dude. That's so killer, dude. That's insane. Yeah. I love just seeing what Max does. It's always 10 out of 10, dude. Amazing.
Gorgeous.
Always blows me away. But yeah, everyone, watching, thank you so much. Don't forget to sign up for our virtual con, August 10th. Tons of panels, a lot of opportunities to ask questions to the team, a lot of opportunities to learn stuff, hear about a lot of different voices, catch up with a lot of cool indie creators, and hopefully we'll be doing it pretty often and with a different rotation and everything too. So we really just want to include the community as much as we can. And we have a really cool promo coming out with banners coming out in the next week. So keep an eye out on our social media for stuff like that and our newsletter. Really sign up for our newsletter. And other than that, you guys want to do any quick shout outs before we sign off?
Yeah, plug your stuff.
All right. Morgan, you plug your stuff real fast.
No, Anton's the guest. I crashed.
So. My book Zethia Space Switch, issue 1 is available through Cosmic Lion Productions. You can find it on cosmiclionproductions.com. Issue 2 is forthcoming. If you like wacky mixed media stuff, a bit of whimsy, a bit of weirdness, a bit of emotional journey, come on aboard.
I love it. We should have got you guys need to check out Anton's Instagram so you could see like the model he used for that. He crafted so much.
Yeah. You could see it right now.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
The tea bag on the original pages still gets me, man. That hero.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
That's
That
awesome.
is epic. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
Commitment to the craft.
Dude, that's bravo, Anton.
Thank you.
We got to have you teach us some stuff on like another episode. We'll put together a little classroom environment.
Happily come on, do any kind of weird mixed media thing with you guys.
Morgan, you want to plug any stuff real fast?
Yeah. So you can find. I'm actually in previews for this August. You can find Frankie Boy Monster in comic shops in October. And I'm in previews for the month of August. So yeah.
Anton, are you included on the Diamond previews as well?
We will be. Everybody that has a book through Cosmic Lion will be. Currently, Zethia is not on this round, but it will be forthcoming at an undisclosed date as of this moment.
Awesome.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great when Zethia does make the next round.
Good to know. I'm super hyped about that. My comic book shop's keeping an eye out for Color Fantasies, is knowing about all that.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Max, why don't you do a quick plug?
You can get Bubbles now on lesserknowncomics.com. It's black mold written queer art horror, 9-panel grids, all sorts of stuff in there.
Hell yeah.
And then you can also get the process zine, which goes more in depth on how we made the book, scripts, original scans, concept art, layouts, all sorts of cool stuff in there. And we make all of these ourselves. And you can also get this on lesserknowncomics.com. So check it out.
Yeah.
And then you can check out the Punk Anthology by Apollo City Comics. And we also have Cybersync and the Shadow Anthology. I don't have any copies near me. I did inventory yesterday. But check out all this on lesserknowncomics.com and soon to be ApolloCityComics.com. We'll have more news about that, and where you could also finally get Teenage Babylon. If you don't see me at a convention, it's really hard to capture this book right now. So soon we'll have it up on a website where you guys can check it out. Really excited to have that more available for everybody. It's the first part of the whole story with Christian's phenomenal artwork and Max's insane lettering. Really fun, cool black and white story. But I'll be at Terrificon, so if you guys want to snag a copy, I still have a few left. But yes, and don't forget to check out everything Comics Wellspring. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to tag us when you get your books. Don't forget to tag us when you're doing events or doing stuff, and we'll share that. We love sharing all of our creators on our social media. And yeah, other than that, guys, thanks for hanging.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And there we